We're getting a lot of work done around here on these buses, getting Lenny ready for the trip. The Prevost next to us there, we're putting a new pinion seal on it. The MCI that's outside under the container arch shelter, we're working on some air leaks on that still today. And then the H345 Prevost, George is going to be taking that down to Florida to have somebody work on the basement air conditioning on it. We're having problems with the AC compressor on one of them is not working, and he's going to go through and do some work on that for it. So George is heading to Florida in that, and then I'll be heading to Florida soon in this one. And then, like I said, we're getting the pinion seal done on that one, and then air leaks on the MCI. So we got quite a bit going on in this video. So I ran it for about 20 minutes outside this morning, pulled it in the shop. There's no sign of an oil leak on the governor. That one is sealed up too. And then I parked it in the shop here for the last few hours, and I've got two drips. One drip right there, and one drip over there. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. That's a weird spot. So that drip on the ground that says in a weird spot, looks like it just came off of that frame rail. I think that's just some residual. I'm gonna wipe that all down good. I might even wrap a piece of pig mat around that I-beam thing in case oil does flick on it, it won't drip down. But that's not something from the engine now. That's an old leak that just dripped. So my bumper swings out. I'm gonna get this all cleaned up real good. That's where that oil was dripping off of. It was just some kind of old oil leak that had been on here, so I'm cleaning it up. So I put a little pig mat on here in case that fan does blow some oil on here. This will absorb it so it doesn't drip to the ground, which is what I was having. But I don't think I'm gonna need it, but hey, it's there. I'll take care of that problem. Before the trip, I'm charging that lithium-ion start battery. It was getting pretty low. It's a self-heating element. It's been using a lot of its own power for that. This Li-Time battery that I use, the lithium start battery that I use as a jump battery when it's cold out, it has self-heating, and it's been cold outside, and the battery had gone down to like 6%. So I've got it on the charger here tonight, and then that should be 100% tomorrow, and then we're heading to Florida. So the weather should be good where it doesn't self-heat, but definitely got to keep an eye on that thing because it likes to use its own power to keep it from freezing. But we won't be in freezing temperatures, so that shouldn't be a problem anymore. I got the Blue Eddy charging here. We use this as auxiliary power. That's about 7,500 watts of additional stored power that we have on board there. That'll get us several hours of stuff where I can run the block warmer off of that in the morning time, but that's what I'm planning on doing. If I need to run a block warmer, I can just plug it into that instead of using our house batteries. I know we're planning on doing the trip this year where we go to all these destinations in a row, but we're gonna go ahead and go to Birmingham. We're gonna be in Birmingham when we go to Florida, and we're gonna go through Dothan as well. So two of those cities right there we're gonna be going through on our trip actually to Florida there. Any other ones maybe? Maybe not. But yeah, we'll definitely be going through those. I don't think we go through Tallahassee. I'll have to look at the map. Mariana might be one on that route too. But definitely Birmingham, and they got a really cool Greyhound station there. I've got all the addresses for everything. Our friend from Facebook, Doc, went through, and his dad used to work for the same Greyhound lines that my bus was owned by. And he has the original destinations from the 1947, the original addresses that all these stops were at. So some of them, they're no longer at Greyhound Depot, the building had been torn down and stuff, but we are gonna go to all the original addresses that were on there. Yeah, here's some Google Street View images of that Greyhound station that's in Birmingham. So we're gonna go there just to check it out, get ready for the big trip next year when we hit them all. But yeah, that Greyhound dog, that's really cool, and the logo on the side, the name. Again, that's just Google Images there, but this is the list that Doc had given me where it's got the address for it on there. So we can see that that address in Birmingham was it 618 North 19th Street. So we're gonna go there and check it out. And then he also included a really nice notes about where his dad worked at that Greyhound depot, and some of his memories about working and some of those stops that he used to go to and stuff. So, and he was a driver too. So that's just neat little personal stories and stuff that he included in there. And we'll feature all that when we do the destination sign trip, and we go to all those different cities, one after another after another. That's gonna be a really fun trip. But I'm really glad that he put this list together for me of all the addresses of where those stations were located at back in the late 40s, early 50s. Working on the honey-do list. Kelly's fan here next to the passenger seat wasn't working, so we got a new fan. 2 speeds. She can turn it, so that'll be comfortable for her. Honey-do list, you gotta take care of that stuff before the trip. Biggest issue left in this MCI is air leaks. It used to leak like 30 psi a minute, so we're getting that taken care of. Both O-rings are messed up. That one's got like a split down the middle of it.
Yeah.
See it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's right. Huh. Well, it came with a lube, so I lubed them heavily, pushed them down in there. The only thing I could do was just sort of work the cover back and forth until it set down flush, and then I could put the hardware in it.
Okay. So this is the purge valve here that was just purging no matter what. We ordered I actually ordered the rebuild kit, but it actually came with the whole assembly. But he just had this air dryer put on the bus less than a year ago, and it would build up air pressure. Once it would pop off, there's an O-ring missing on here right now that was in the housing, so if you know what you're looking at here, there is an O-ring that goes here. But anyways, it would just purge. So once it built up to 120 PSI, it would pop off, and then the air would just dump out of this until the unloader switched to load back up. So it would get down to about, I don't know, it would just continue to leak out until the governor would switch it back over. So I don't understand why this was leaking so bad. It was brand new. I've seen a lot of them that are more gunked up than this. So we replaced it, and that took care of that air leak. And then this Prevost next to me here in the shop, we're going to replace the pinion seal on it. It was leaking. It wasn't leaking really bad, but it was low on fluid. Once we changed the diff fluid, then it had a higher level and it was leaking a lot. So this will be the pinion seal that goes on the Prevost. So it was leaking just a little bit when it got here, but it was very low on oil. Once we filled the oil, then it was just coming out of that seal area. So we're going to pull it off. It might need a sleeve on it. We'll find out once we get it apart, but we've got the seal here ready to go. Put that in the bag. Once we get that pinion yoke off, if it's got grooves like this one, this is from a different bus, but if it's got these deep grooves like that, then we're going to have to put on like a speedy sleeve, a steel ring that goes over it like that. It's a new surface for the seal. So we may have to do that as well. And this other Prevost that George owns, it's going to be for sale. That we redid all the brakes on it and everything. He's going to take it to Florida to get the air conditioning to work on here. The basement airs need some work. As George was going to hook up his Jeep here to the bus, I did not like how low that trailer hitch was with how high his Jeep was. The angle on that is just terrible. So we're at least going to flip it over, change the mount on it. But you can see here how low that thing is with it dropped down like that. I mean, the Jeep's so high, I'm afraid it's going to lift the front wheels off the ground of the Jeep when he brakes real hard.
All right, Bob.
You got it the right direction?
Got it?
Over. Well, that didn't go spectacularly wrong.
No, it did not.
Think I ought to go and put the lock washer on it this time since I got the gun.
Yeah. Hand it to me to go get a wrench for it.
All right, got it. All right, Bob.
Don't break George's wrist.
We're gonna let it eat. Hang on. Give her hell.
Did you reverse it?
I did.
Okay.
Give her a little more. One more.
One more.
yeah.
George lost his nut once. He's a little nervous.
Yeah. I still can't believe I didn't lose a Jeep.
George got to his destination, and that nut on his trailer hitch was missing. The
Really?
ball was still there, and his Jeep was on it still, but there was no nut on the
There's no
bottom.
net on the bottom.
See, there's this angel that follows you around, George,
Well,
or something.
Yeah, that raised it up 6 inches higher. That'll help. It still should be higher. That's not a normal size receiver. It's extra large, so I don't have anything I can give him that would be more of a rise to it.
Back up. One more time.
Yeah, I had him do a couple of hard brake applications there just to see how it was going to hold up. Well, George, considering you've driven this bus a whole bunch of times, has it ever stopped like that before?
oh no, no. But I've never had the pleasure of punching it like that. But no, absolutely not. I mean, if that's any indication as to correct gentle braking pressure, it's gonna be really good. So a lot better than it was.
Yeah, he's heading down to Florida real quick to get that air conditioning worked on it. They're going to start working on it on Monday. He should hopefully be back by like Wednesday. So yeah, it's going to be a whirlwind trip for him to get down there and get back with that. We also have this 45 footer that we're working on. Beautiful, beautiful coach, but it's got a bunch of air leaks now. We got the brakes working great, but we're still working through some air leaks. There's this broken fitting on the front that we're working on, and then another airline that's leaking on the treadle valve.
Okay. So the 90 at that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but that's not the audible.
And then the
Sorry.
and then the where is it? Can't really see it. Not that one, but this line goes into the 45 right there. Is the audible.
Yeah, that airline way up there on that treadle valve, that's going to be fun to get to. You can barely even see it or reach it. Yeah, so that just kind of keeps you up to date where we're at with everything with the buses this week. We'll have another video coming out. We're going to do regular scheduled videos Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. Central Time Zone. So we're going to start releasing on a regular schedule. So again, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings. 3 videos a week, 7 in the morning, Central Time Zone.